Welcome to Portugal, the fourth round of the World Rally Championship. This is an event that is steeped in history, famous for its fans as much as its stages. As in 2007, the rally returns to the Algarve. The drivers like the event, but they are fully aware of the hidden dangers out on the stages.
There are nice stages, really technical and difficult over the crest and blind crest and turning here and there. It's difficult to get the notes right.
I haven't seen so many blind corners on the rallies.
Very unseen in some of the places, you know, so it's very easy to do a mistake over the crest.
You can't just drive what you see. You have to go with your notes still, and that's the only way to go fast.
You have to trust in your notes, and a little mistake you can go off the road, and so now it makes it special.
But all the talk is of the returning champion. Marcus Gronholm is back. This time though he's driving a Subaru, but what everyone wants to know is, can he be competitive?
That's the question. I have no idea. I think we can be quite okay if I find the feeling and so, but how I don't know.
With Sebastian Loeb on a roll, having won the first 3 events, taking him to a stunning 50 rally victories. And Peter Solberg brimming with confidence after his 3rd place in Cyprus. Rally Portugal now boasts 3 world champions, all gunning for glory. But all eyes are on an old rivalry renewed.
I think it will be tough, but I would like to beat him on some stages. If I can't beat him in the whole rally, I would like to win some stages.
A big battle with Marcus. I'm looking forward for that, as long as I win.
Don't forget about Ford's Mikko Hirvonen. He's the only man to have pushed Loeb on gravel in recent times, and with this being the first of 7 all-gravel events, this is his chance to challenge Sebastian. Loeb's 3 out of 3 wins gives him a maximum of 30 points and an advantage of 8 over Hirvonen. Danny Sordo's 3rd, Petter's 3rd place in Cyprus, put him within a point of his older brother Henning. Citroën have a dominant lead of 16 points over Ford in the manufacturers' table. Stobart's hold 3rd ahead of the Citroën Junior team. But it was a tricky start for Conrad Rautenbach as he smashed his suspension on the shakedown stage. The rally takes place in the Algarve on the southerly coast of Portugal. There are 18 stages in all, and most run in the countryside to the north of Faro, totaling 361 competitive kilometres. It started with a super special in the impressive Algarve Stadium on Thursday evening. The local fans again proving their love for rallying by turning out in their thousands to see the sports elite fight it out on this impressive 2.2 kilometre circuit. Conrad Rautenbach had perhaps not quite found his composure with another slip-up on the Super Special. The Citroën Junior man will hope for better today. One of the biggest cheers of the evening was heard for the returning Marcus Gronholm. The Portuguese spectators appreciate talent when they see it, and though the Big Fin is still one of the best drivers on the planet. It was a good time from Marcus, but even quicker were his former teammate Mikko Hirvonen, who certainly have got the crowd on his side as he flew the Portuguese colours, and his old sparring partner Sebastian Loeb. Peter Solberg was the showman as always, but it was his older brother Henning who stole the limelight. The Stobart Ford man claiming the first stage win of the weekend by going fastest in the Algarve Stadium. So let's move on to today's action, and to tell us about the 6 stages coming up, here's Marcus Gronholm's co-driver Timo Raitiainen.
Day 1, Rally Portugal. We've got 6 stages, 3 of them driven twice. The stage to look for is the first stage of the loop. The first part of that stage, 13 kilometers, we have done 2007. But then the 10 last kilometers, they are new and might be challenging because of the low sun in the morning and the dust. We don't know how long it stays on the road with 2 minutes in the wash. Is it enough or not?
And it's the championship leader Sebastian Loeb who's first to take on the 23-kilometre stage 2. He's away, and in these dry, dusty conditions, it's going to be a tough first day for Citroën's #1 as he resumes his familiar road-sweeping role.
150 mètres, attention, droite 140 plus fond, ouvre frein pendant 150 mètres pour devant arbre, gauche 90 moins, et 3.
Oh, Oops, an early mistake for Loeb. He's caught himself under braking at that junction, and this overshoot is not the start he was hoping for. With the seconds ticking past and the dust still hanging, Sebastian's stranded as he can't see where to go. He's reversed back on the stage, but it's a good 16, 17 seconds before the dust has settled enough to know where to go. A dramatic start to the Rally to Portugal then. Mikko Hirvonen won't know it yet, but his biggest rival's already given him a golden opportunity. Hirvonen is 8 points behind in the Drivers' Championship after just 3 rounds, so a win here would be crucial to his confidence as well as his deficit in the title race. Dani Sordo, meanwhile, has made his customary solid start to the season. Thousands of fans everywhere, as always, in Portugal. The Spaniards' consistency has ensured that Citroën have made the early running in the Manufacturers' Championship. In contrast, it's been a frustrating start to the year for Ford's number 2, Jari-Matti Latvala. 2 offs in 3 rallies means the pressure's on the Finn to prove his undoubted pace again, but more crucially, make it to the finish line. 2003 world champion Petter Solberg is back for his 3rd rally behind the wheel of his privately entered Citroën Zara. The Norwegian will be full of confidence following his fine podium finish in Cyprus and could be one to watch again this weekend. A good example here of the blind crests that characterise this event and make it such a challenge. Absolute concentration on the notes from Phil Mills needed here.
Left minus, opens extra long, keep into the crest, 120.
Petter as committed as ever on stage 2. And what a treat for the Portuguese fans with Marcus Gronholm lined up on the start line. The former Peugeot and Ford driver is back after retiring at the end of 2007 when he came so close to claiming a 3rd driver's title. Driving a pro-driver-run Subaru Impreza, it remains to be seen how competitive the man and the car will be. Rejoining Loeb now, and we'll soon find out how much that slip-up's cost him. It's unsurprisingly not a great time from the world champion. Let's find out what went wrong at that junction.
A problem at the start, we hear.
Yeah, first braking straight, but only for 1 meter. So I reversed, and I was in my dust. I didn't find the road, so I had to wait the dust to go down because I didn't know. I know nearly which way, but not exactly. And when I started to go, I saw a tree in front of me, and I was not on the right road, so I was waiting.
Loeb rattled then early on, but can Hirvonen capitalise? There's the Frenchman's time, and with the finish coming up, it's already clear Mikko is going to be a lot faster. 16.3 seconds quicker than Loeb. It's a terrific start for Ford's number 1. Taking advantage of his slightly clearer line, though, is Dani Sordo. The Spaniard is just under 2 seconds quicker than Hirvonen and stays ahead of him overall. Judging from the early split times, though, it's Latvala who could be the man to watch this morning. Oh, close shave for the Finn there. Interestingly, Jari-Matti's opted not to receive split times as he's found it distracts him, and on his 24th birthday he's on course to set a terrific time on stage 2. Sordo's quickest at the moment, but Latvala's beaten him 7.8 seconds faster, and Jari-Matti takes the provisional lead. Marcus Gronholm, meanwhile, is proving he's lost none of his speed, and in his first competitive outing in a Subaru Impreza, the Finn has taken full advantage of his latest start position and clearer line, 2nd fastest on stage 2. Marcus is up to 3rd overall.
Early brakings all the time. I am, used to compete again and to listen to notes, and a little bit afraid still with the car as well. Enjoying it though? Oh, it's okay. Yes.
Petter Solberg's also made it to 5th, but for his brother Henning, it's been a frustrating first gravel stage after taking the lead on the Super Special last night. A brake problem sees him fall from 1st to 10th. After stage 2 then, it's birthday boy Latvala who's out front, 5 seconds up on Danny Sordo. Gronholm's third, 0.4 of a second ahead of his former teammate Hirvonen, but Loeb is in a lowly 7th, over 24 seconds off the lead after that early mistake. And let's see if Virtual Spectator can give us any clues to why Seb overshot in that stage. Comparing him to the fastest man on the stage, Latvala, their braking points represented by the red line show Loeb brakes a little later than his rival. The Frenchman is a few kilometres an hour faster into that corner as well. Was the combination of those two things enough to make the difference? So even the best are finding it difficult in Portugal. And join us after the break, as things are not getting any easier out there. Welcome back to the Vodafone Rally to Portugal, where Ford's Jari-Matti Latvala is the early leader, while the returning Marcus Gronholm has made a very respectable start in third. On to the morning loop's final 2 stages, and after an uncharacteristic error on the previous test, Sebastian Loeb will hope to respond immediately. The Citroën C4 features slight improvements to the engine, gearbox and suspension this weekend, so Loeb will hope the changes lead to yet more success. The Ford Focus has also been improved for this rally though, and starting 7th on the road, the current leader Latvala has a much clearer line and is still attacking very hard to take maximum advantage. Comparing his time to Loeb's here as Jari-Matti approaches the end of the Silves stage, it's looking like another terrific run for the 24-year-old. Yes, 11.2 seconds quicker. Latvala's now over half a minute ahead of the world champion and also extends his lead over Danny Sordo. On to stage 4, where we can join the Spaniard. And he has a better run through Malheo, second fastest through so far. Danny has begun to apply a bit of pressure on the rally leader. Latvala, though, seems well up for the task this morning as he seeks to maintain his advantage into the midday break. He's off! An absolutely huge accident. Some nearby Finnish spectators caught the action. Several rolls down the hillside. It's a terrifying scene and a disaster for Jari-Matti after another promising start. Amazingly, he and Mika Anttila are both uninjured, but the damage this could have done to the Finns' fragile confidence, we can only imagine. With one of his main rivals out of the rally then, Sebastian Loeb has continued to push hard as he seeks to make up the time he lost with his mistake earlier. Ominously, despite running first on the road, the Frenchman sets his first scratch time of the rally on stage 4. And once again, the responsibility of keeping Ford represented on the leaderboard has fallen solely on Hirvonen. There's a lot of dust on the inside of his car, though, which will be distracting, and he only manages the 4th fastest time in stage 4. Marcus Gronholm was given a frustrating delay at the beginning of the test after initially being told the stage had been cancelled because of Latvala's accident. It's still an impressive performance from the Finn though, 3rd fastest on stage, and he's now up to 2nd with Latvala retired.
If someone told you yesterday that you'd go to first service, 2nd place, would you believe them?
Yes, because I had a good feeling in the test, so why not? But I was a little bit, worried about my pace notes and the pace because I haven't been driving so much. So.
The wreck of Latvala's car gives you an idea of the ferocity of the accident. It's a testament to the strength of these cars that they walked away.
I came too fast to the right-hand corner, obviously. I didn't expect that it will jump, and it jumped a little bit and lifted me to the outside, to the bank, and making car to the 2 wheels, and I had no chance anymore, no room, and car started to roll and went over the fence and started to roll like 100 meters down. So it's been the biggest accident I have ever had.
It's not a birthday Latvala will forget in a hurry, and his crash leaves Dani Sordo in front. He's 3.2 seconds ahead of Gronholm, and that's also the same time that separates him from third place Hirvonen. Loeb's now fourth, and Petter Solberg fifth. Back at service, Jari-Matti Latvala and his Ford team boss Malcolm Wilson will have a lot to talk about.
I have to say it's it is a big disappointment because again it's put us in a very difficult position so early on in the rally with a lot more pressure now going on Mikko. On this occasion, I think I have to say that it's the biggest accident of his career, and I'm really pleased to say that the way that the safety cell and everything has stood up in the focus is. It means that they're still here, and they both weren't injured at all.
What do you do this afternoon? Do you push for the lead, or are you thinking about Loeb? Is he the main contender this afternoon?
Well, I don't know. We had a good plan, but it doesn't really work anymore. So we have to think of another way of doing it, and we'll see.
Have you got a good feeling with the car? You seem to enjoy this gravel rally.
Yeah, the feeling with the car is really, really good. It's very easy to drive. Also with the pace note, I am really happy with the car.
A repeated run through the 3 stages used in the morning next, and we've already seen that these roads are not to be taken lightly. With the surface cleared of loose gravel after the earlier loop, there's no disadvantage for Loeb running first on the road. So what can the Frenchman do about his 23-second deficit to the rally leader? Hirvonen too has some work to do to get on terms with the early pace setter Dani Sordo. He begins stage 5, 6.4 seconds behind the Spaniard, but immediately looks to be setting an impressive pace. It's Sordo then who finds himself in the unfamiliar position of leading a gravel rally. It's a very fast section here in the build-up to the corner that caught out his teammate this morning. Oh, but he's made the same mistake, an identical overshoot for Sordo. And that is the last thing he needed in his hopes of holding on to the lead. Petter Solberg is still pushing as hard as he can in his older Citroën Sara. The former world champion managed to finish ahead of Sordo last time out in Cyprus, but so far in Portugal, Petter hasn't quite been able to match the front runners. He remains in 5th for now. The leading private entry is still Marcus Gronholm. He's in the car that Petter would have been driving this season had Subaru not pulled out of the sport. He maintains his impressive 2nd place. With Loeb already through the finish boards of this test, Hirvonen has been more than a match for the championship leader in here. Mikko sets the quickest time through so far, more than 5 seconds quicker than Sebastian. With Hirvonen flying and Sordo already having slipped up in this stage, Citroën's number 2 could struggle to hold on to the lead here. Yes, he's clearly going to be a lot slower. He's already passed that target time. A very costly overshoot then, and Dani slips from 1st to 3rd. Dani's delay has also ensured Marcus Gronholm benefits as well. The Finn remains in 2nd place after being passed by Hirvonen, but is continuing to show the rally world what's been missing for the last year. So we have the 4th leader of the rally with Mikko Hirvonen now into the top spot, with Gronholm still 2nd and Sordo down to 3rd. Loeb is 21.5 seconds behind the leader, while further back, Sebastian Ogier and Evgeny Novikov have swapped places in the fight for 7th. So 2 more stages to go today, and you can see what happens there after this break. Welcome back to the sunny Algarve, where Mikko Hirvonen leads on day one of Rally Portugal. Before we see the last two stages, here's a review of what's been happening down the leaderboard. Matt Wilson is looking to maintain his 100% scoring record this season and is currently in 6th. A fine drive and no mistakes for the Stobart Ford man so far. Behind Wilson, there is an interesting battle developing for 7th between two of the Citroën Junior drivers. Young Russian sensation Evgeny Novikov has been holding the position for much of the morning. On stage 5, though, his teammate and reigning junior world champion Sébastien Ogier set an impressive third fastest time to move past Evgeny. Rally leader after yesterday's super special, Henning Solberg has had a quiet day since losing time in the morning loop with brake problems. The Norwegian is running in 9th going into stage 6. Back for his second event of the year is Henning's compatriot Mads Osberg. Running in a privately entered Subaru Impreza, he's a minute behind Solberg in 10th. We've already seen Conrad Rautenbach's frustrating start to the rally, so he's been understandably cautious today and is currently sitting in 11th. Federico Villagra has taken his time to get up to speed on his debut at this tricky event. He's running in 12th, but is involved in a fight for position with fellow Ford driver Khalid Al-Qasimi. The Emirati driver is also on his first visit to Portugal. Khalid's just been passed by Villagra, but lies just 13 seconds behind him in 13th. Back to the leaders then as they move on to stages 6 and 7, the final two of day one, and plenty to be decided with just 21.5 seconds separating the top 4. There's been no leading from the word go in Portugal for Sebastian Loeb. Road position has not helped, but he's also shown how tricky these roads are with his early error too. Beginning stage 6, 21.5 seconds behind the rally leader. He has a tough task ahead to get back on terms. So having built up a reasonably healthy lead, will Mikko Hirvonen be happy to stay there? Or as we've seen over the last year or so, will he drop back to ensure a better road position for the next day? There's no sign of backing off from the Finn though, and it's Mikko that ends the day as the rally leader. Danny Sordo's also put in a fine display today. He may have lost the lead this afternoon, but another fastest time on stage 6 proves he's clearly not given up his pursuit of Hirvonen. He ends the day just 15 seconds behind the leader. So just Marcus Grönholm remains of the top 4 runners now. He comes into the day's final stage with his runner-up spot intact, but only 3.5 seconds ahead of Danny Sordo. Approaching the flying finish now, and he's suddenly a lot slower here. There doesn't appear to be anything obvious wrong with the car, and Rautiainen is clearly keen to slow down. So Marcus employing tactics here. He is back up to speed in the flying finish, but is a lot slower than Sordo and slips behind the Spaniard. He's also dropped behind Loeb into 4th. Peter Solberg finishes the day strongly with the second fastest time on stage 7 and ends the day in 5th place. Still just about within touching distance of the early leaders.
Tightens to 5 right bus, 6 left half long, 20.
And there has been one more change of position on the final pair of stages, with Sébastien Ogier continuing his fine run, moving past Matt Wilson for 6th on stage 6. Loeb finished the day with another fastest time and lies 3rd, 18 seconds behind the rally leader. Sordo is just ahead of his teammate, with Grönholm now 4th, just under 6 seconds behind Loeb, after being given 2 seconds back by the stewards for his problems at the start of stage 4. It's his antics at the end of 7, though, that are the talking point at service.
Marcus, tell me what happened at the end of stage 7.
No, we had a little bit problems on the stage, few different things. We overtook Khalid in the dust there, and then something with the front right suspension. So, but then we slowed even down for nothing in the end to just be behind Seb, but we slowed down a little bit too much.
Why was that? Did you get your maths wrong?
No, I didn't want to be first on the road, so now we are 4th, but a little bit too far now.
Mikko, how hard is it going to be for you being first on the road tomorrow?
I think it's going to be very, very hard, but I think today the difference wasn't so massive than we thought, so we'll see if this 18 seconds or 15 seconds, if it's going to be enough.
It's been a memorable day's rallying today, and make sure you join us tomorrow for the Day 2 highlights from the Rally to Portugal. Until then, you can keep up to date with all the news and results on WRC.com.